everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mongrels Garage, where today it's one of those things where we got to do what we have to do rather than what we want to do. But if we get what we have to do done, then we get back onto what we want to do. So what is the have to do? Well, that's this 2006 Saturn Vue with a 2.2 liter, and we believe the alternator's died on it. It's for an extremely important friend of mine, and that's why we want to get this done. And then maybe we can get back on that Parisienne, get it finished up, maybe get it running and driving. So let's get into this so we can get back onto that.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. If the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
We have to start by getting this battery cover off. And it's just a Phillips screwdriver and a couple screws. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, how did we make the determination of what was wrong? Well, we got a battery light on the dash. And what happens is there's usually two culprits for that. One's the battery itself, the other one's the alternator because it's not putting out the correct charging. Now I say usually because there are a couple other things it could be, but those are the primary suspects, so we're going to start there. Now we made that determination, good old voltmeter, and we've got 12.5 volts on this battery, so that's usually an indication of a pretty healthy battery. There we go. Now when we start the engine, that voltage should go up to about 13.5. As you can see, our voltage dropped rather than going up, which means something's not charging. That's typically the alternator. So that's what we're going to replace. So you can see our alternator is kind of buried down here on the passenger side of the vehicle. We got to get this air intake off. I think we'll have to move the pewter over a little bit, and we should be able to get at it. Loosen off the belt, obviously. So let's get started on all that. But the first thing we have to do, disconnect the negative post on the battery cable. Once you get the 3 bolts out of this alternator, there's 2 on top, 1 down below. There's that clip right here. You just pry that back and slide the electrical connector out. You should be able to pull that out. This rubber boot for the primary battery feed is giving me a bit of a problem.
I hate it when I get my Schwartz twisted.
Always got it. Usually they're a 13 mil. Let's see if it still is. There we go. Jeepers. We're gonna go get a wrench.
Stay here. I'll be back.
Radiator hose is right in the way. Maybe we get the air box out. We'll be okay. Desperately needs a new air filter. Come on.
Wow.
Well, I ain't never.
This isn't the biggest bag over the head. Cheap, no good, rotten. Where's the Tylenol?
Okay, so what was causing the problem was this intake tube. Got a couple snaps on it. You have to push it in just on the side here and on the side there. So you just got to squeeze that and you can pull that out. Hopefully get our old alternator right by this now. There you go. So let's see what we got here. By the way, this is one of the few options to get decent parts to Canada at a reasonable price. So that's why I use them. Lots of bubble wrap. But here's the important part. What do we got this time? Oh, I got a Toyota. Nice. Set up there. So I always like to compare the two. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. Computer tested alternator.
Please list primary targets.
Remember I said there was another thing that could possibly affect it? Well, that's it. Computer on some vehicles. Oh, we look at this. We got a little performance chart here. Isn't that nice? Got some installation instructions. We're going to fully follow those.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
All the clocking's the same. Our electrical connector has 2 pins. We got this connector. All the bolts position is the same. Check our pulley size. That's the same. So we're good. Let's get this on. Just gonna tighten up our 3 bolts here. One on the bottom, 2 on the top. We've already hooked up our electrical connectors. Got the belt on it. These are long bolts. Very long bolts. Ooh, there we go. That's tight. Tight. We're good. Get the computer back in place. And just be mindful, there is a grounding wire, one of the lower attachment points for this computer. You get that back on. Make sure you start everything loose. Don't tighten the first bolt in, but everything started. I'll show you this grounding wire in just a minute here. There you go. You can see it right there. Goes on that bolt. If you're using the improper tool like me, a big 3/8 here, make sure you don't go torquing the heck out of these. They don't need a lot. You'll be using a 1/4 inch drive, but I don't have that right now. Put our air intake back on. Our electrical connector here. Air temp probably, guessing. Now, we're gonna reconnect the battery, fire it up. I'm not gonna put the air box in yet because I wanna make sure this belt stays on and it's running right and that we are indeed charging. No point putting it all together if we have to get back in there. The good news is our battery light's off, our belt's running good. Let's check it with the voltmeter. There we go, 14.5.
Power's back.
Excellent. Our problem's resolved. Let's get that air box back in, close this up. Before we go any further, if you don't mind giving us a thumbs up, that'd be great. Greatly helps out the channel, but that basically wraps it up. It only took us about an hour or so to get this done. And now that we've done what we have to do, we can get back onto what we want to do, which is the Parisienne. Yeah, you see it over there, right there. All right, everyone, have a great day.